gave us everything we needed. This is to allow for us to be aliens or aliens, which is why Malachi York brought forth the science of the 19th galaxy, the 19th galaxy of alien, to say the most high or the highest point that you can reach when you get up to that divine place and you make a union with that which was referred to as Anu, who is and what is the most high known to you. What do these people do with the science? They come out and they monetize the science. They come out and they make it all about banking. They make it all about financial freedom. And they forgot, and we see you, they forgot that it was about the ruh, the soul. But they made it about the numbers. They made it about the digits. Why? Because digit L, the numbers are the God of men. AI reigns supreme over men. And so I'm calling out to all of them, and I'm letting them know that the reason why you forgot Malachi, the reason why you wanted to forget Malachi, is because he was making you really stick to the works of what your books were saying do. Everybody want to keep speaking about the riches when it comes to the soul. Everybody wants to act like there's even an alignment with becoming top dog in man's world and becoming top God in Allah's creation. They want to act like there's a merging. When they said that's your being lukewarm. You don't have to stress finances. You don't have to stress the economics if you really know what this is all about. Because all things have already been provided for you, especially if you're seeking that kingdom that's inside of you. So if you really have the keys, then the keys should show you directly back to the holy place. The holy place, which is a type of temple. Are you with me? So when we took the one you call Prophet Rasulullah Muhammad on a journey called Al-Isra, the night journey, okay? What a lot of people forget, we say, well, Miraj, Al-Isra wa Miraj, is to say what? The night journey and the ascension. Because a lot of people leave it at the night journey and you're only dealing with the blackness. You have to factor in the ascension because we didn't just take him through the night. And what you call the Borak is to say a bright thing, or the lightning is a million different ways, beaming. But the Borak is something that was bright and shiny or white. We didn't just take him on the Borak through the night. We caused him to ascend. And he was at the end of that destination in the presence of who you call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was in the presence of the Most High or the source. And what was it referred to as? The holy place. Or Jerusalem, Jerusalem. Are you with me? Which means he went from the dark place to the light place. Are you understanding? So for a lot of people who were confused about what that journey was about, that journey was about out of the darkness into the light. That journey was about also something referred to as Isra. So you say Isra, you're speaking about a journey. Okay? Isra. You say Isra, you're saying time. Okay? If you were to take from the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, all right, and then go 5, 6, 7, you create a scale. Where in the center of that scale, called the Katub, stay with me, Katub, which is another word to say point or axis or pole. In the center of that scale, all right, if you were to draw a mountain from the point that's in the center to the point of a first point and a second point beneath the center, you will have a pyramid. If you were to go from that point in the center and connect another point and another point, you will have another pyramid upside down. This will form an hourglass. Remember, I told you, don't forget about Esther, the time. Remember, Michael said, remember the time. And in the same surah, which, don't forget, surah also ties you, literally, to a word, sutra. And sutra was the Sanskrit word for threads. Okay? And it also brought you to a word that meant a sign. So the same way you say what surah and what ayah, you're saying what chapter and what verse. Surah brought you around to the word sign. And ayah brought you around to the word sign. Go look it up. And we said, pay attention to what? The signs of the times. So in Al-Isra, you find that they mention about the hour, okay, or the differentiation between the hour or the time periods. And how do they do it? They say in chapter 17:12, right? That's Al-Isra, Surah 17, okay, Ayah 12. They said, we made for you the day and the night. And when we made the day and the night, it was for you to be able to differentiate between these two signs, as they literally called it. There were two signs. And those two signs had different frequencies, what you refer to as the lesser light and the greater light. Are you with me? One of the signs was the nighttime. They put this in Bereshit, or in the beginning, okay, or in the beginning in the book of Genesis in the Bible. So for those of you who come from the Christian orientation, remember what they said. They created a light that ruled over the nighttime and ruled over the day. And I'm saying they because God was Elohim, Elohuma, okay, or Elohim meaning these beings, or Elohim also meaning gods, more than one gods, plurality. Okay? They said they created a light, which was the night, or the moon, Yemaya, Hillel, and we'll get into that. And that nighttime was devoid of light. And we just broke down, when we broke down the sciences of, and built up the sciences of the occult, that the light is the information, correct? Okay, so if the nighttime was devoid of light, then we're still speaking about Sophia's world, or Baphomet's world, or the dark world, okay, or what was referred to as the dark ages. In real time, literally, they have something called the dark ages. You go from the 4th century on up, and you will find where they were literally saying, okay, it was the 5th century, because 400, yeah, so 5th century on up, they were literally saying, in that time period, they didn't have information. They were lacking the sciences, and they didn't know how to move forward. You understand? So if the night was devoid of light, then that's the part of the self when it comes to another word called the jihad. The jihad, okay, that part of the self is struggling to overcome darkness, all right, or a lack of knowledge. Because when you don't have the knowledge, you are trapped. That's why we said you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. We wanted you to know. We wanted everything to be clear. This is everything that was put in Al-Quran. We wanted everything to be clear for you so that nobody could come and confuse you. Are you with me? So we said the night will be devoid of light. And we also said that the daytime, or that spark during the daytime, or the light hours, or ruh, okay, everything would be bright and clear for you. Are you with me? So you have that on the scale of your hourglass, where everything in the lower world, okay, starting at that one, which yields that root, everything in that lower world leading up to the heart, okay, is the world of darkness. This is why they told you that Muhammad, all right, alayhi salam, had to be taken and placed in a higher plane, in a holy place. And they had to open up, do surgery on his heart. And they waxed him and cleaned his heart and extracted the portion that they said was the dark portion for Shaitan, or that which would have caused him to oppose the true light. They took that out of Muhammad and then sealed him back up and sent him out into the world as a messenger of the true light. This is important. Why is it important? Because they told people to watch out for the time where people would walk around with the symbol of the kaf on their head. Stay with me. Remember, anybody can grab the light. I had a lesson that came out. I said, devils can teach too. I hope you hear what I'm saying. Because if we're saying the symbol of the kaf, what are we really saying? Because if you say kafir, what does it mean? A kafir, say it phonetically. Kafir, cover, cover, cover. All right? If you know the truth, and you know what this is truly supposed to be about, if you have been exposed to Dr. Malachi York, and you know that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad showed and told and prophesied about the coming of the one who will bear the knowledge and the wisdom of the Lamb. He literally said it phonetically. The Lamb, or the shepherd, Imam Isa. If you saw Imam Isa and you saw this is the chief cornerstone, and you rejected him, you are walking around not only with an unstable foundation, you're passing out the blueprints of an unstable foundation. And so that means if you know who Dr. Malachi Z. York is, and you know that if you were to place, no disrespect, the works, the information, the knowledge, and the wisdom of what Dr. Malachi Z. York brought forth to your whole plane, all of your religions, all of your walks of life, all of your classes and degrees will be here all shadow hour, speaking about what he brought you, ungrateful people. If you were to look at the works and place them next to the works of anybody you would mention, from the Most Honorable Dr Muhammad to the Minister Farrakhan to Prophet Allah to Francis Cresswellson to Dr. Ben to Dr. Africa, Bill Valentine, Bobby Emmett, whoever you would want to say out of your mouth would even be a master teacher of today's day and age. If you were to place the works, if you don't believe on me, believe on my works, of Asa, Imam Asa, Malachi, Murdoch, next to any of their works, you know what the true light would shine from, or where the true light would stream from. You know this, and that lets me know that you are a kafir if you cannot come out and say who the master teacher of our time is. And so, this goes for 19 Keys and anybody else. You can feel how you want to feel about it. If you are not leading with the fact that we still have someone with us who gave honor to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who taught us, who walked with him to give honor to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, peace be upon him. If you know that he's here, suffering the first 3 degrees of the 19, the 1 and the 3 and the 5, that gives you the 9, for you to be able to come out and speak on the 19, he was the reason why the rest of these people were able to figure it out. They won't give credit. If you know he's here, battling the beast in Colorado, the color red, the belly of the beast, yet you won't say there needs to be a movement of green light, there needs to be a movement to help combat what they've done, there needs to be a movement. Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, why is there not a movement to get your brother out of the belly of the beast? And if you don't feel you're powerful enough, why can't you start or spark a movement to clear the name of one of the brothers who made it be that some of the people who you brought into your movement were awake enough to hear what you said? We didn't have the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad did his job, though, and told you who to look out for. And so, what is the symbol of the kafir? I can tell you the symbol of the kafir, because if you know the true light, and we told you, face your Lord, face the true light. The night is devoid of light. We said that when you finally figure out who the true light or what the true light is, and you face it, you will be of the ones who will know what it is. That's why the whole Knowing movie is about the sun. The Knowing movie is about CMEs, or what they call coronal mass ejections. It was all about the sun. And you want to know what else it was about? It was about a young lady. And it was about a person named Lucinda, stay with me, Lucy, light bearer, who had the ability to hear the whisper people, the Etherians. If I'm making this up, tell me that the image of the angels in the Noah movie is not the same exact image that is right here in this book, the Holy Tablets. Tell me it's not the same image. It's the exact same image. Are you with me? So those Etherians had the ability to communicate with people telepathically. And they referred to them as the whisper people. And those whisper people channeled and communicated with whoever this little girl was. And remember, they tried to say she was schizophrenic. And they also tried to say Dr. Malachi Z. York was schizophrenic. The minister speaks the science of the will. No one calls him crazy. They listen to him. Malachi York speaks the science of the will, shows you how they were built, who's driving them, what their names are, how you can find them and communicate with them. He takes people in real time, shows them where they are, how to see them. He shows them in real time. He told me the tones that I don't even have to utter, that I can think in my mind and they will come. I've shown people in real time these crafts that people are calling baby planes and starships. Ask 19 Keys or any of these people who claim to be walking in the order that the Most Honorable Dr Malachi set up. Have they ever had a person-to-person encounter with any of these ascended masters? Or is it all allegory to y'all? Is it all something we can take and make a t-shirt out of and sell it? Because if that's the case, you haven't been exposed enough to that true light to even step out here as a teacher. When they denied Malachi, they caused a rift in time. And we've been holding that rift together every time we speak the name and every time we remind people. It's not like you're not saying there are leaders. You're saying there are leaders because you always mention the Most Honorable Dr Muhammad. You go on forums and teachings. I see you. I've seen all of these people. And you will mention all of them. Yet you won't mention the one who came forth and brought everybody together at the Ketub or the center point or the pole, where you get into the science of the pillars. Because we said that there was a tree, which is also a pole, in the midst of the garden. And it had two parts or two trunks or two bodies. Are you with me? To that tree, where you get into the science of the Kundalini or the Caduceus. Okay? And it's all about the pole. So if you think in pole and you only see this, that's only 1 degree. But at one point, the pole is this. And there's the bottom pole and there's the top pole. This is how your planet operates, whether you believe in flat earth or not. This is the science of the North and the South Pole. He brought everybody to the center axis point, the Ketub, and remind them about the Ketub. He said, Faze, you said the same thing twice. Did I? Because if I say Ketub, what am I saying? Scriptures. The words that were supposed to be the words of guard. He brought you back to the word. He said, let's deal with the sinner. The word, the fire that's inside. So if you know that there was someone who did that and activated the green light, I can find you a million images with Dr. Malachi York, all right, with the green light surrounding him. If you know he's here, why do you cover him up? Why have you chosen to be a kafir? Because you walk around with the symbol of the kafir on your head. And that symbol is none other than the crescent moon. In the sun cycle, if you're still rocking the crescent moon, we know who you are. If you think I'm making it up, then go read Al-Quran, Surah 17, Ayah 12. Go read it and tell me they didn't say that one of those lights or time periods was devoid of light. Huh? You will find that it says that. So that is the sign that we're looking out for in this day and time, because we're in the sun cycle and people need to be reminded about not only the sun itself, but what the sun does for a person when you stand out in it. The fact that when it interacts with your crown, there is an ascension process that takes place. Just because you stand in the sun, your molecules start speeding up. Scientifically, that's referred to as ascension. Scientifically, the moon can do no such thing. You can stand out in the moon all you want to. It will never cause you to ascend. So how are we having higher level conversations walking around with a moon? And how do you know who Malachi is? And I know this nigga heard me, because when I said, all I'm asking for all of y'all to do is to clear up the smoke. Let it be clear that there is a master among. Treat him how y'all treated Muhammad, okay? when he was mourning Fatima, excuse me, that's Mooney. When he was mourning his mother, don't treat Malachi how you did the prophet when he was just trying to get you to understand, and you ridiculed him and belittled him and acted like he was insignificant until you could profit off his works. Listen to the key word, profit. Everybody playing profit. Nah, they playing profit. That's all it's about. Because if it wasn't, you would have no fear letting people know about Malachi. But you know, and I'm speaking directly to the soul because I know he's watching. I know all of them are hearing me. You know that if you were to open up them doors and let people know who Malachi York is and what it's all about right now, to date, they wouldn't need to follow behind you. They will also know immediately you ain't on no high level anything. So when I spoke and I asked them to clear it up, clear up all the smog and the fog, his response was, we don't need master teachers in this day and time. We need master builders. My response to his response is, you are neither. You're not a master teacher, and you're not a master builder. I've seen a master teacher at work, in person. And I remember, even though I was a toddler, that's the difference between you and I. I saw the master teacher at work, and I saw how the people were handling him, who were upset about the fact that he was doing the works. He didn't claim to be a Muslim just to claim to be a Muslim. He went in and ascended the highest of ranks, became what was referred to as Imam Isa, translated Al-Quran, spoke to people, told them, you're not even supposed to, Yusuf Ali is a poor translation of Al-Quran. Before the Sunnis came forth and admitted what he was saying, when they were at one time calling him crazy for it, you're speaking about somebody who went and learned all of the languages that were necessary to break down these religions. High level. When most of these people can't say a single phrase in Arabic, sort of, the same generic one, Assalamu alaikum, and they chop and screw the fuck out of that one, yet you want to deny the one who did it. This is why it doesn't make sense. If I was not brought up in right knowledge and exposed to all of y'all schools, plus the school that allowed for me to see the ins and outs of all of y'all schools, I could still step back and see, if we were to look at everybody's works, there was no reason why Malachi Z. York should have been abandoned. And there was no reason why he should have been shut down and the works should have been overlooked. Because not only is it a part of your history when you come in the name of black, that's why I tell people, watch out for all this pro-black shit, because how you going to be professionally black? That means professionals make money. But how you going to make money off black? Unless you make money off black. And black means ignorance. Black means people don't know the whole game. Or they wouldn't think what you were saying was high level. If they really knew the whole game. If they were exposed to the true light in a way in the hell, they still come up under a crescent. When the crescent itself is saying Hillel. And Hillel, or Helan, in old Anglo-Saxon or old English, right, is saying concealment. Something that's kept away. And the whole purpose of Al-Quran was to remind people of the day of revelation. Don't ignore our revelations. How are you still coming up under the concealment? You don't know that they fooled you? You don't know that they hid the 5-pointed star in the Baphomet emblem because the Baphomet emblem was associated with Hillel? And Hillel was another word in Islam, you could say it. In Arabic, you're saying crescent in Hillel. Hillel meant crescent. And the crescent was associated with a being called Hillel or Baphomet. The deceivers. And so, remember, they said the Kafir the disbelievers. All right? And it's very important to remember the key element of Kafir. Kafir, the reason why I showed you phonetically covered is because they know the truth. Them niggas know what I'm talking about. They will listen. It's the same thing with what's going on with the music industry. With D1, they'll respond to D1. They won't respond because they see the true light. And they say, well, if we give any type of light, all right, or open up the doors for this person to step through, it's over for us. So they'll cause a replication. and make it seem like this person is the one bringing forth the flame. And people fall for it, and they don't even understand that's not the fight. The fight ain't the music industry. If you've been walking with me, you know it's deeper than that. You have to deal with the actual forces. Remember, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. The actual forces that cause for the music industry to exist. Are you with me? So when you see these people stepping forth with the Hillel, the crescent, and we know that you know the truth, you are choosing to be a Kappa, and the Kappas were said to sit around with the rest of the Mukmin, or the Mukminun, Mukminati, and say, I'm with you. I'm one of you. I'm a Muslim. Yet you check and see, are they really living like Muslims? They're not. And that's not to break into the conversation of mainstream Islam will be here all shadow. It's to say that they're not really living like Muslims. Are you with me? So they only act as if the religion is something that is their foundation. Because if it were truly their foundation, money would not be the leading cause of what they're doing. Glory would not be the leading cause of what they're doing. How do you know whether or not it's the leading cause? Because it is nothing for them to utilize the name of the NOI. It's a business that was already set in place. All right? It's nothing for them to utilize that name. It's nothing for them to ride off of the works of Farrakhan. It's nothing for them to ride off of the works of the Most Honorable Dr Muhammad. Okay? That means people just see them as a part of a package that's already been built up. And they can sell whatever they want to sell from that point on. And you start asking yourself, what is the end goal? What is the end goal? When Farrakhan speaks on the wheel, what is he talking about? Is he saying allegory? If that's the case, then why did he see the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad on a UFO or the wheel? This is not only allegory. My point is this. If it was truth and the true light, and it wasn't about glory, it wasn't about fame, it wasn't about money, you would have no problem letting those doors be open and showing the people who cracked open the prophesied seventh seal. Why is that important? Because there were tears. There was sorrow when they didn't think anybody could open it. For a long time, you had no idea what Al-Quran was sent for and what the Bible was sent for. You had no idea. For a long time, they didn't know that the book of Revelation was the Bible. They didn't know that. For a long time. And so somebody came forth and showed you word by word, scripture by scripture, kitab, kitab, book, book, piece, piece, tittle here, tittle there. A point here, a point there. What they were and why they were revealed. And you ignored it? You ignored that? You must be of the Kafirun then. And so we're faced with another reminder in this day and time that if anybody has not yet been exposed to Malachi, okay, then how can you claim to know the time you're in? Because remember, Esther, the time, because I swear by the time, mankind has to make their transition. They said you were losing. Man was losing. Remember, they said, Muhammad, don't make yourself to be worshipped. Make yourself as a reminder. Let them know you're here to remind them. Take our revelation and remind these people. Remind these people of the levels they had to ascend through to get to what? The divine union. Past the material plane, all right? Past that mental plane where you meet Al-Qadir, the green one, which is also to say, kind of to say, the potent one or the powerful one. Once you get to that point, you ascend further, where you have divine truth that you speak. You have divine reality that you see. And then you have divine union. Remind them. Tell them about the 7 heavens, the 7 levels. Remind them about the 7 seals. We're going to call you the seal of the prophets. Don't forget about 777. You got the Circle 7 Quran. You got what? I, Self, Law, and Master, all those people who rock with the number 7. You got the Moors who throw up the number 7. 7777. How many steps between 1 and 9? 7. Okay. So then what is 1 and 9? 1 and 9 is what's referred to as the hands of God. That's 1 and 9. The hands of God. Everything that exists between the hands of God is your visible reality, your observable universe. So between the hands of God, or that chi like I broke down for you, is the G, which is the 7, or the 7 steps in between, where in the center of that 7 you have the what? The green, which is why the green light movement is here. And anybody who finds this chi is able to use it to help shape and form reality. It's speaking about your being healed and brought forth out of the darkness so that you can actually see what's taking place in its reality. So we did code it. And we said, use your willpower. How do you know that? Because in order for you to become a savior, in order for you to be able to shape and form this reality for whatever cause would be at that point in time, key words, point and time, katem. All right? For you to be able to speak for the words of God or the Madu Nectar, all right, or the Medu Najar, the Mother Nature, as they say, but again, Medu Nature is the divine speech of God. In order for you to do that, in order for you to be of the anointed ones, or Qur'est, all right, you had to be, what? In the divine presence of, and come in contact with, that which is referred to as Mashiach. Mashiach. You ever seen people that, do you know Jesus? I tell you, if you say no Jesus, you're saying no Isis. And noesis is speaking about knowledge. Go look up the word noesis, or noetics, or gnosis, no Isis, or no Jesus, or no Ezeus. When you know Ezeus or know Jesus, what? You have the truth, the life, and the way. Now you can ascend. In order for you to ascend, you have to yourself take up your cross, walk along that crossroad, all right, and be able to ascend through what's referred to as Mashiach. And Mashiach is the word that means what? Divine will. Divine will. Go look it up. Mashiach. Divine will. What does it sound like? El-Mashiach. El-Mashiach. Messiah. And who was the one who brought forth the message? El-Mashiach. Who said what? The spirit is willing. The spirit is willing. It is the flesh that is weak. He made sure he highlighted what? The will power. Which brings you all back around to that Green Lantern movie. Green Light. Where they speak about the willpower. Are you with me? He said, don't fall into temptation. 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 Temple of Tashan. Temple of Shaitan. Baphomet. Baphomet. Go look it up. And you will find that it's saying the body of Baphomet, or the temple of the Father, who is at that point Baphomet, or the darkness, or Halal. Halal. Are you with me? You have to be able to activate your will. So your willpower is the ability to say, I'm going to deny all of the things of this world so that we can get this work done. If you only want to glorify the self, then you're not going to look at the grand scheme. The grand scheme is, again, it doesn't make sense that you turned your back on Malachi. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. I won't stop. Like I told you, I will not stop until people know that you have defrauded the conscious movement. All of you. You have defrauded the movement. To leave out the one who was the most influential, not only does it make sense, it shows me all of you are devils. All of them are devils. That's why I'm glad that we did the class of the occult first, so that I can remind you Lucifer can teach too. Ask Lucifer what's the plan and watch them conceal it. Remember, all these niggas be Masons and shit. And we were taught, don't tell. That's why the responses go out saying, anybody telling the secrets, you're afraid. No, anybody not telling the secrets is afraid, because you're scared of the penalty that they gave you to speak over yourself. There's a subconscious fear. Everybody want to act like they understand the subconscious. Do you know that if I tell people we're going to fast, right, and we don't fast, meaning they fast, but there's no we, because I'm sitting behind the camera eating chicken, talking about some go y'all, we're going to make it through the days, that I'm emitting what's called amber light at that point. The reason why I can reach all these people and it be hell is because when I'm saying we're going to do a thing, I do it with them. I don't imitate righteousness. If I say we're going to do this, I'm doing it with them. If I say this is the foundation of what we're doing, I'm going to stand on that foundation. If I slip, I tell them I slipped. When we walk together. That way, when I come and I speak to them about it, I only can emit green light about it and above. So if you standing out here saying we don't need master teachers, and it ain't about teaching, it's about building, yet I can find a million videos of y'all niggas sitting and talking about all this other irrelevant ass shit. What do you call that? You call it just gossiping? You call it sipping tea? You call it talking amongst each other? You call it fellowshipping? Or do you call it teaching? And so to say we don't need master teachers is just as disingenuous as the motherfuckers when we was in class that used to say, you think you know everything. It ain't all about being smart. Because of the projection of your own insecurities and your own shortcomings, right? Well, one of my teachers in school used to tell me, be careful when you're dealing with these men teachers of yours. Because I used to have a problem with a lot of the male teachers. She told me, you have a presence in the things that you know makes other ones who think that they the ones feel inadequate. Okay, so that's what Dr. York went through with all of y'all. And the reason why you want to say stuff like we don't need master teachers is only to shun him until you attend an event full of herbalists and vegans and all these philosophers, and y'all want to go down the list of all these other people you call trailblazers, and you'll mention Dr. Sebi, but you won't mention who Dr. Sebi mentioned. What are you so afraid of? And it ain't just about mentioning, again, let's make sure people are clear on something. It's about the fact that if we had to look at whatever works were necessary to cause for the ascension that you see in phase 1, and this ain't nothing. Remember, I'm only 25. However, those works caused for me to ascend way before anybody thought it was my time. I don't think I know everything there is to know. However, I know what's right. I had a lyric say, I'm not saying I'm righteous, but I know what right is. And I know that it was wrong to do what they did. Because now people are confused. People are confused. Because what is the key tab? What is the key tab? If I'm using a computer, the key tab is something that I press into code. The tabs are the keys. When I open up a tab, that's another window. And I have to use the keys to open it. What is the key tab? What is the center that they have us hold, all right, in allegory when we're getting our obi or our obligation? What is that? What is that center point? And when we say, when the time came, this is Matthew chapter 24:15, right? When the time came for you to witness the desolation or the abomination spoken of by who they call Daniel the prophet, they said, stand in the holy place. The holy place, which is referred to as the shrine. How would I find the holy place or the spiritual place in the word kitab? Remember, Al-Quran is a kitab. Don't forget, because it's very important. If I were to stand in the holy place, I got to first find it in the words and trust that whoever the ones who programmed these words did leave us behind codes that a very specific person in each generation will be able to come forth and break those codes, use a key, and fatiha. Open it. What was the code? Key, tab. Key, spirit. Key, spiritual. life force. Keep holy. What is a tab? Short for tabernacle. When we were coming from Nuwapu or Right Knowledge, if we were to meet, let's say we're meeting a sister, we'll say, you from the tab? Before we would talk to that sister, we want to know if she was from the tab. We would say a tabernacle. The word tabernacle is to say a holy place or a dwelling place, specifically. So when you say kitab, you're saying what? A spiritual place or a spiritual dwelling. That is the holy place. And so when you saw this desolation, which we look out and see, when you saw this abomination spoken of by Daniel, the prophet, stand in the holy place. And they also put a small message in there. They said, let he who overstands know what we're talking about. Go read it. Why do they do that so much throughout the biblical scripture? Why do they try to remind people so much that wisdom is what allowed for you to be able to see in this day and time or any day and time? Because it brings you right back around to when the Muhammad or Prophet Muhammad had to go into that holy place. He took that journey through the night and ascended into that holy place. He went up. So when Farrakhan speaks about the will, remember the word W-I-L-L. Because in order to activate that will, you need enough power. And your chakras are referred to as wheels in Sanskrit. Go look it up. Don't take my word. You say chakra in Sanskrit, you're saying a wheel. Are you with me? And in order for that wheel to ascend, it takes more energy. Like the propellers or propulsion of any kind. It takes energy, bursts of it, to get up out of the gravitational pull of a material plane called Earth. You've seen the rocket ships. Are you with me? And so there's an allegory to the will. Then there's literary to the will. Because remember, everything we created for you pairs that you might receive instructions. There's polarity, the Hermeticas, polarity, the principle of polarity. You can find it in the book of the Kabbalion, chapter 10. Polarity. So if we're saying inside, we're saying outside also. There's a will that has to rise up inside your body. And it takes a specific journey up the spine to the heavens or the holy place, the shrine. And then there's a real will that some of us have seen. And there were people on it. Are you with me? You want to know what's interesting? When they were speaking of the stories of Prophet Muhammad, they said that his ceiling was open. He had a ceiling, a roof. And it was open, and they brought him up through the ceiling. The same thing I told people happened when I was 12 years old. We have to come on here and talk about extraterrestrials. I don't want to go too deep. I want to keep the center of the conversation. But we can come on here and speak about that. To keep it short, I experienced what Muhammad experienced, and I saw my heart on a screen. I got to come on here and break that down. But he said he had a ceiling, and they had to open it. And I said, how did they open my ceiling? Which it wasn't literally, I went through my ceiling. But there still had to be some type of opening for me to go through it. And when I got back to my couch, at that time, I only had a couch in my room. And this is back when I was 12 years old, so around 2013. When I got back to my couch, I looked up immediately at my ceiling and I saw no fractures, cracks, or anything like that. Whatever the technology was, they had the ability to pull me through the ceiling. So when I read that part, I said, that's interesting. Because if you are really of the mu'minun, you know that they said the Quran was not only the best of sayings, but it was clear. So when they spoke about the messengers or the malaika or angels like Jibril coming down to Muhammad, interestingly enough, they meant that. Unless you're going to tell me, Jibril Muhammad, they didn't mean it. Unless you're going to tell me anywhere in Al-Quran that it says these words are not true and faithful.
Bro, they be like drum emoji. I need you to survive. Yeah, he need two face and that's on bro, they be like drum emoji. I'm nigga that pop out by my circuit for who coming for me. I want like damn, who the fuck told Noodle to switch up on me like that? They say I went days in high school, they don't even know me like that. Called out my city, let's do better, we got the whole world watching. I fuck with 20 24 heavy with Safe Mode back in my days in Clayco. He son DM like, nigga, remember, you don't know me. On my damn say, bet, okay, bro. And when Nala told me to lay low, it seemed like shit got a little hot. I was getting death threat, they were flying. Like I became the enemy of every rapper in Atlanta all of a sudden. No pressure. I put up my peace, love, and light and brought them guns. I'm ready. Whole day expecting them all to run. I put in the word, it's already done. These niggas too faking that song phone them. I show love to y'all. I'm a real nigga, ain't never want to see my nigga Paper Love fall. But I couldn't get a feature for Paper Love, he wouldn't even fuck with me. But every video I ever shot for bro, I shot that shit for free. Put it on y'all mama, I wasn't a nigga that y'all could call on. Folks will use you up, but then it's fuck you when it's all gone. Bittersweet, now that I'm the one they got their eyes on. Cause I've been slept on, stepped on, hated on it, then lied on it. Hurts, at least at first, but then you start getting pissed off. Then you start calling names, you like for everybody till your diss off. I wonder why J. Cole didn't want to sign a nigga. I was 18, but I'm glad, cause looking back, a nigga had it bad, and now I'm doing great things, and it's all good. I'm still in the hood, it made me paranoid. I ain't scared of niggas, I'm a threat to nigga, but I know they gon' shoot cause they scared boys, so I keep mine. Meanwhile, screaming guns down. Some call that contradiction, I call that intuition. I call that I'ma live as long as I can so that I can finish the mission. I'm not Amber Light, but niggas still can't be green when you in this position. I'm talking to myself in the future like, damn, little nigga, why didn't you listen? These people, they evil, they humans, it's vicious. I ain't doing no shows, I feel like everybody trying to set me up, so nah. I know the Fed be tapping all my phones in every fucking call. I'm already knowing they want me locked and gone forever, fuck the law. They got agents in the conscious community, I never fuck with y'all. Why the fuck would I scream free Rashad Jamal? He wasn't screaming out free dog. Why the fuck would I follow 19 keys? That part of us still locked. Nigga done got it, they feeling cause I've been revealing that they ain't no shit but guap. But them niggas just marketed different than y'all get a ticket to listen to niggas just talk, and that ain't it. I say they name cause I want them to feel me, and I'm throwed off for real, they gon' have to kill me, and then long live me, you feel me? I spoke on YSL, I spoke on Thugger being inside that cell without no bail. But just his voice to creep around their head, he loud as hell. When he come out that bitch and finally hell, only time will tell. But well, until then, I call that guy's work. I said fuck drip, I'm on killings, leaving these lies hurt. Crazy how trouble PNB and Takeoff had to die first. For y'all celebrities to admit this shit done fucked us up. But instead of labor money to cover expenses, we doing fish fries. Meanwhile, the NOI making money off us on the west side. Being pie, we didn't know why they wouldn't come help us, but they chastised the police ride. They don't be all in the hood cause they don't even care about crime. I don't see why we can't police our own communities. Call Farrakhan, and I teach my brothers to carry guns, cause niggas ain't shooting fair ones. I love y'all, shit, I need you to survive. Anybody that I mention is still love, but it's like why? All I did was challenge us to do better while we alive. I spoke the truth and now y'all folk want me to die. Why? Like, I need you to survive. Anybody that I mention is still love, but it's like why? All I did was challenge us to do better while we alive. I spoke the truth and now y'all folk want me to die. Why? Hard, fuck that, bring the beat back. I need you to survive. Miss from the hard shit. I love y'all. I need you to survive. I sound really on that, but I'm really on that. All I wanted was to run these streams up so that we could buy land. I had a song called Draco Halo with brother Eastside I Am. You see us in my caution video, cause we were like fam. Till he started fucking with Tory Lanez, Jacquees and Birdman. The energy switched up then. He started attacking my daughter like he ain't give his life for our people and sacrifice all the luxuries niggas take for granted. Why y'all acting like y'all the spiritual fathers? Why you think we call Malachi Bob? If you can't solve it for you, I could do the math. But why possible face to face? Teresa Islam about the action. I thought he would see my light, but he looked over me and perhaps I was taller or a part of the nation he repped. He would have passed me $1 or maybe a quarter or a penny or a tag or a follow or maybe a comment or a share. Anything but just a stare. Anything but just a handshake and let's take the picture quickly. I ain't tripping, I just hate how niggas did me. Like you don't know the son of God when you hear his voice and it's not gone. I ain't saying my name Jesus, this Omari. That's my mama, that's Selena. So the light gave birth to the highest priest again. Am I speaking clearly? I incarnate every. Nah, fuck it, they don't even hear me. See, it was days a nigga ain't had nobody to talk to, not even serious. My tea's going cold, I wonder why it hurt my spirit. Knowing they kill us or imprison us and the people don't even care. They try to hit me with a sentence, I'ma run on and I mean period. With y'all picture on the wall, it just remind me it could be worse than. I wish they ain't kill Sabian, leave us with all these little herbal men. We ain't got healers out here now, just veggie products, fire purchasing, just a new hustle. All I hear is 2 for $5, big bro, I got them perkies in. These niggas really be dinosaurs, just like Barney without the purple skin. Snakes in the grass, snakes in the street, snakes in the wind. When you really shine, they low when you down, hate when you win. We got niggas from the shot to Atlanta imitating the land. They must not know the land be linking in. United we stand. If you know, you know Nipsey was bringing this shit together, one of them men. That documentary wasn't even all they were worried about what it planned. Niggas talking about they been building, I ain't heard about it since when? Since Tama Ray, since Nuwapu, since Sabien. You know how this lifespan ish go. Ain't nothing shorter than. Other words, no matter how this story ends, it's all good, muy bien. Inshallah, let this war begin. And to whoever left who listening, I need you to survive. And I ain't never been no vegan, but I think it's truly wise. Just cause you see me fuck a 10-piece up don't mean I'm losing vibes. I want my people off them burgers and them pizzas and them fries too. But why you think I put them on that fast? Cause even if they ain't vegan and they do that, they still can reach critical mass. Be careful how you handle the masses, they really fragile. Remember, y'all was asleep before somebody came and grabbed y'all like, damn. I need you to realize I ain't scared of death cause everybody dies. I ain't scared to step cause every time we scribe, it ain't nothing left to tell on how we slide. Yeah, I know folk like damn, why the fuck he going Vietnam? They don't even know when I drop on, that's just me being calm. She spelling I like EYE, she thinks she me a song. She never had love from G.O.D, she thinks she need a song. He talking about ain't no competition like I'm in the bit to compete a song. Like I ain't on some shit that I ain't speaking on. They think of Faye want a traveler, that mean that he be gone. I know they hate cause how I'm great, I wanna see me on. But if you hear this shit, just remember I need you to survive. Remember I need you to survive. Remember I need you to survive. Remember I need you to survive.